Hey, it is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today. Much love going out to all the beautiful empowered harmonizers. We are zooming in and focusing in on a great viewer question, and that is to go a little bit more in depth on sort of a narcissistic trait or narcissistic tendency of discontent. Sort of, they are not ever, at a content mode. They don't really sort of get a level and just allow everything, to be enough. To have that state of gratitude or humility or just sort of that humbleness with being, that comes with being a human being. Realize that there's more to the picture than you and more than, the timeline for your life than what is directed by you. There are other things at play, other things more important than you sort of feeling discontent or feeling that you don't have enough or you don't have that gratitude for being satiated, so to speak. And it's kind of my feeling that the narcissist who has a pathological sense of self-importance and coupled with a lack of empathy, they also have an insatiable need for power and control. So if someone is sort of always discontent, they're always on the I need something mode. I don't have mode. It can be and create a sort of lack mentality, that they don't ever feel that what they have is, what they deserve or that they deserve better, even though they can't see the value of what they have and have that gratitude. So there's always this sort of maybe pining for more versus, a sort of content that people, once they get through certain stages of their life, they're comfortable with certain things. They're comfortable with their car. They're comfortable with their bank account. They're comfortable with their home. They're comfortable with their relationships. They're not always saying, "Well, I deserve better." This is just not sufficient for me. I deserve a better person. I always deserve a better car, better this, better that, better tools, whatever it is. There's always, which is fine. I mean, if people need, or are driven by their desire, that is perfect. That is no problem if they can do that. But when it comes to sort of discontent, then spilling over into how they feel about others, they always have some sort of opinion. They always have some sort of cut down. Nothing is ever good enough, or you feel that you are not good enough in your presence. So a lot of people then try to overtly, or what have you, make them happy to sort of quench their discontent. I would say a lot of people get stuck in that mode. They just and then they sort of give into these sort of irrational thoughts that there is not enough, or the narcissist will also sort of have this sort of discontent that they sort of express with other people, as if they have more or more important or better things to do than be with you or deal with you. Sort of, I think, is the nonverbal expression oftentimes that people pick up when they're in a relationship with a narcissist. So in other words, they might feel that when they're in their company. You might be out at a restaurant or a bar, and they're sort of constantly looking all over the place. A lot of our viewers have experienced this, where they're just sort of not there. They have wandering eyes, often making phone calls. They feel sort of excluded while they're even in their presence. So, what you're seeing is that narcissist exclusivity. They tend to sort of put out there that they only deserve to be associated with people of a certain status. And so that's just sort of their message. This is how they relate to other people. So if they snide you off or give you the cold shoulder, a lot of people then feel a sense of rejection or inadequacy, and then end up trying to figure out ways that they can become more likable. Not more likable to themselves, but more likable to the other person. So they end up trying to become what you would call a people pleaser, or being something other than what is genuine to yourself and in your best interest and in your best happiness. So a lot of people end up bending over backwards for the narcissist. and exhibiting a lot of a high degree of tolerance for when they are in that complain mode, that sort of mindset or attitude of nothing is ever enough, just sort of a lack mentality, where they're only seeing what is missing, not what they have. So they oftentimes can't take stock or have gratitude that is fully deserved in what they have. So they tend to sort of take advantage of others. A lot of our people, our viewers, haven't been able to remain grounded or feeling secure or being able to protect themselves in the relationship because they got caught up in this cycle of trying to please or pacify a narcissist who seem discontented. Maybe they don't like you, or you were fearful that you were they were seeking another mate or another what have you, and so you had to work hard to sort of keep or maintain the relationship, which oftentimes will wear people out. If the narcissist doesn't like you for who you are, then you don't have to work harder to get them to like you. I think a lot of our viewers have put up with this, and they, maybe had issues with their spouse, lying, cheating, the pathological, where they just do it just because, and just to see what they can get away with. And this oftentimes feels like a discontent. And they do it because they sort of this grandiose thinking that they sort of get on their mental choo-choo train, and they just sort of hit the fast lane, and they just don't, and so they are always sort of on a beeline. And if it's fueled by discontent or really a narcissist, I think they always want to be the one who is regarded as a specific way. They want to be viewed as a specific way. They want to be viewed as the one who is the smartest. They want to be viewed as the one who is the strongest. They want to be viewed as the one who is the best, but whatever. The best at talent, they're best at their job, the best at their cooking, best at their car. I mean, no one, can compare. Everyone else is under a lampshade, or that is, I would think, the feeling that other people feel, that they have to diminish or minimize themselves, that they can't be fully there because, that narcissist, if you are not in alignment with sort of helping get them what they want, then you're considered as sort of an obstacle. So that discontent will oftentimes, people will absorb it and take that personally, that you are not enough. You don't have enough. You are not smart enough, fast enough, slow enough. I mean, whatever it is, it's just you're not, getting that feeling of bonding or connection with a narcissist because of this undergirding feeling of discontent. Usually, I would say it's within a deep-seated place within that person that they feel, in order for them to be able to relate to people on the level, they have to hit certain accomplishments, or they have to have a certain way of being treated that is aligned with who they think and how they think they should be. But oftentimes people end up sacrificing themselves and not being acknowledged and validated for who they are, and them being okay. They end up sacrificing this very experience in order to just support this individual day in and day out. That would be what is required to have a successful relationship with a narcissist. So I think that this is sort of built into that personality disorder. Nothing is ever enough. How many steaks do you need? How many cars do you need? How many this and that do you need? How many marriages? How many girlfriends, boyfriends? And sometimes it can become very irrational. The discontent can be very strong. And so then people feel that if they're around them long enough, that they feel that they are the cause of the unhappiness, because if they should be able to be there and have that relationship, that there should be no issues there, and why is there this unhappiness? That is the narcissist, I would say, that is always looking for better and more. They can't sort of embrace that feeling of content. It's, for some reason, I think they have this insatiable need for power and control that keeps them driven in that. So it keeps them away from sort of situations where they would have to have content, where they would have to be humble. They'd have to be real. They'd have to be in it just like everybody else, be in it together. But they want to keep the uneven dynamic. And, it's not to say that there isn't dynamics in life. Some people have stronger skills, it's not to say that there isn't difference of intelligence or what have you, but it's to understand that when you're around this individual, they will sort of make it known that you are less than. They'll try to incorporate that into the dynamic so that they will get sort of everything will be on their side, and it creates a division, a separateness. And to, for a lot of people, this becomes very problematic because they don't ever get to be an active participant or really feel included and have that level of trust and acceptance in a relationship with a narcissist. Oftentimes because it's of their own deep-seated woes of insecurity, inadequacy, or feeling that they don't have enough. So it keeps them sort of on that cycle. So you have to break the pattern. Even if you go out on a limb and you say, you know what, I have gratitude for what I have gratitude for who I am, and that is enough. And that is enough. If you can do that, then you'll have, an unconditional positive self-regard, which is going to do a lot more for your feeling of fulfillment and a great lifestyle if you can have that positive self-regard. Usually it's that experience that you are deprived of or starved of from a narcissist relationship, because they're very wanting to not give you positive feedback or reflection of self because they don't engage in that empathy. So, when you are with someone and, they acknowledge you and validate you, just as they're not threatened by doing that. Whereas the narcissist, they are threatened by, sort of putting a ball in another's court and allow them to have the mic, allow them to have the spotlight, so to speak. They are not wanting to share. This becomes a very all about me sort of outlook. And I think that is part of the hard wiring of that mindset or that attitude that we see in those sort of cluster B or narcissist behavior relationship dynamics. So if that can explain some of the things, it's okay for you to be different. It's okay for you to have gratitude and be satiated with what you are satiated with, and to have that be enough, and to not fall into that trap. Oftentimes it will extol sort of this pathological envy or pathological guilt, where if they can project or, get under people's skin to make them feel that down, then they are in control. So they're able then to control the outcome of the situation favorably for them and unfavorably for others. So there's usually this sort of grandiose thinking that I would say sets up that entitlement thinking where they don't feel that they have to do the work or do what other people do, that they should be above the law, that they should have this, that they should have this for themselves, that this should happen, that they should be able to override this and that, deserve all this special treatment and just sort of, barge their way. They always feel that they're sort of deserving of special treatment, even if it's, not even an exception. So this is just part of their outlook. This is part of their mindset. It can be to a greater or lesser degree, but oftentimes that fuels other people's feeling of inadequacy or worried about what's going to happen with this person, or worried that they're going to lash out, that they're going to, enter into a narcissistic rage that is, and then people end up being fearful. This is called walking on eggshells, crazy making, as is known sort of in that, in the industry. So, don't walk on eggshells. Be confident. Walk your journey with confidence, with stability, with balance, with reflection of gratitude, with reflection of appreciation and self-appreciation, especially as it exists in the bigger picture, and liberate yourself from that constant negativity loop. You don't have to engage in that. And sometimes if it means you not being in a relationship, then you have to make that declaration and make it be known and back yourself up 100%. and then make sure you then fill your own cup with certain things that are stimulating and satisfying for you and fulfilling for you, rather than feeling that you have to be sort of distracted by the needs of another all the time. That it's time to sort of capture and be in the same space with your own needs, and really being able to make sure that you are on track for that, because a lot of people sort of suffer silently, and they don't realize until it's a lot of time has passed that they haven't been able to do specific things, participate in certain things, have certain types of experiences, and they want to have a correction in their life. So it's best to do that. It is your buddy, Peace and Harmony, with you here today, and I hope that these videos do help. Please share, please subscribe, and for goodness sake, please donate for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support. Peace and gratitude within, peace and gratitude without. May you experience a sort of humble and peace today, where you are experiencing gratitude, I would say, for what you have. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions. And if you can realize your gratitude today for what you have, who you are, and self-appreciation, that will do you a lot of good, especially on the road to healing if you've been through some malignant, narcissist, abusive sort of relationships. Have a beautiful day.